What's up everybody, welcome back to the Art of Crypto, the birthplace of absolutely legendary gains. In this video, we are going to do a quick little update on Bitcoin and Ethereum, like just a really quick video, just so you understand where we stand right now, what is the sentiment and what is going to happen next. So if you're interested to figure out exactly where Bitcoin's going to go, is it going to pump, is it going to dump, you're going to want to stay till the end of this video. But before I dive right into it, if you haven't already followed me on Twitter at _ the Art of Crypto, you're going to want to do so. I'm sharing the latest market updates over here and you do not want to miss out. So let's dive into Bitcoin. So I don't know if you watched my previous video about Bitcoin, but I was talking a lot about the concept of protected highs. Basically, before we talk about anything, I just need you to understand that this is caused by institutions. So is this, so is this, so is this, so is this. And this right here, this is retail. This is retail, right? This is retail and this is retail. Basically, institutions are the only ones who can move the markets because they have all the money. Like, their order sizes are ranging somewhere in between the hundreds of millions to billions. So they are the ones who can move the markets, and so you do not ever want to fight against them. Just try to follow in their footsteps, right? Which is why when we are determining whether or not we are bullish or bearish, we sort of have to approach this with an institutional mindset. So the reason why I put these protected highs over here is because imagine if you were an institution and you were shorting right here. I'm very sure that you would not want the price to, come up and stop you out, and thus the keyword protected, right? Because institutions are protecting their positions. So during this entire downtrend right here, you can see that for every lower high that we form, we did not come to test that previous high at all. Like, we didn't even come close, right? We formed this high here, this is the next high. We formed this high here, and this is the next high, right? Not even close. So the way that you determine whether or not something is bullish is you look for protected highs to get violated. In this case, you can see that Bitcoin was, violated. These protected highs were violated, right? At about 34,600-ish. So basically, long story short, I do think Bitcoin is bullish now, which means we should be looking for pullbacks to start getting into Bitcoin. So in this case, let me just bring something else to your attention. If I just draw this trend line, like something like this, straight up, you can see that Bitcoin is somewhat in a rising wedge formation, right? Like, forget this trend line. If you just draw a trend line like this, right? I know it doesn't look like much on the 4 hourly, but on the 1 hourly, let's just say that this kind of pattern is not pretty, because this is called a rising wedge slash, a rising channel thingy, which 68% of the time they do break downwards. So because of this, I do not recommend you FOMO and jump into Bitcoin right now, and we should look for an alternative entry because I do expect a pullback. Right, a pullback, I don't mean a dump, I mean a pullback. So in this case, let us try to determine exactly where should we be trying to buy Bitcoin at. And right now, I'm going to give you a few good levels to get Bitcoin at. And for now, let us begin by marking down some bullish order blocks. So what order blocks are is, the last bearish candle before a massive move upwards. So in this case, the order block would actually technically be this one right here. But, this whole block right here does appear like the order block. So let us mark just this massive block here, as well as this massive block right down here. So these two areas are your areas of value for Bitcoin. Now, this is not financial advice, but if you were ever going to buy Bitcoin anywhere, I'm just saying that this would be a better price to buy at compared to, in the middle of nowhere. So again, this is just a suggestion, it's just my opinion, not financial advice. So right over here, this price at 32,650-ish and 30k right here would be your order block entries. Now, I don't expect Bitcoin to get to 30k that quickly, so you're going to want to focus on this one at 32,650-ish. Now, am I saying that this is going to be the absolute bottom? No, not exactly. What I'm saying is that these areas, right, these two levels at 32,635 and 32,350. Again, I'm on the Bitstamp chart, so if you're on the Binance chart, you have to suit it to the Binance chart. So am I saying that these levels are going to be the absolute bottom? No, absolutely not. Again, I'm just giving you a suggestion that these are usually areas where institutions like to push the price to, right? Order blocks. While we retail people, we play with, support resistance, institutions play with order blocks. So in this case, I'm just saying that there's a good chance, right? There's a high probability that the price is going to get there and then, fill the order block before moving up. Now, if you get stopped out, then that's what a stop loss is for, right? And so in this case, I would actually just set my stop loss just a tiny bit below this low right here. And as for take profit targets, right? Because Bitcoin is already bullish, we sort of expect, right? Whenever something is bullish on an institutional order, like on an institutional scale, we expect the price to go and violate some previous protected highs, which means if we do break up, like I was discussing in the private group during a live stream today, and I was saying that if we do break above this level at 34,600-ish, I do see us going back up to 36,500-ish or 36,600, which is this protected high right here. So we're just going to mark down some, previous protected highs, and what you will find is often protected highs tend to be pretty good, quote unquote resistance. So these are going to be my profit targets for Bitcoin if we do get this entry, right? These are going to be my profit targets. Basically, the profit targets, right? The target, you're sort of aiming for Bitcoin to go attack some previous protected highs. So that's going to be at 36K, 36,600, 39,600, and 41,300-ish. So that's going to be my price target for Bitcoin only if we do fill this order block, right? Otherwise, I'm going to look for this order block to fill. And in this case, I'm going to set my stop loss just a tiny bit right below the order block, right? Because we expect the price to actually fill the order block and then move away. If the order block is invalidated, then we simply get out with a loss, and it's perfectly fine to be wrong. In fact, most traders, like even the best traders, are wrong about half the time, and yet they're still wildly profitable. That's because they practice proper risk management. And I'm just saying, if you're interested to know exactly how to manage risk, exactly how to use futures, you just want to trade properly, a private Discord group is going to be the place for you. But let's get into that later. Now, let us get into ETH. So here's the situation with ETH right now. If you just take a look at ETH, this is even more of a textbook rising wedge. And remember, it tends to fall downwards 68% of the time. So at the moment, you're going to want to look for a short if it does fall below this rising wedge. And 68% of the time it does. And as for the take profit targets, again, actually, before I get into that, if you just take a look at this bearish order block here, similar to Bitcoin, we had a bearish order block on Bitcoin just now. So if you just take a look here, this right here, that was your bearish order block. And as you can see, we have absolutely completely blown through it. So that's why I'm bullish on Bitcoin, and that's why I'm bullish on Ethereum. And I've been saying so for quite a few days now. And this is the reason why. We're busting through bearish order blocks instead of getting rejected there, which means institutionally we are going higher. And for Ethereum, I just want you to ignore every single level, right? Every single level in between here, I just want you to ignore that. And if we just zoom out onto the daily chart, you can see that Ethereum is simply ranging, right? I want you to imagine this. Ethereum is simply ranging in between this low at 1700 and this high at 2400. So until we break either one of those levels, nothing is, just treat Ethereum as ranging and accumulating. And sometimes that's just the way you have to think about trading. So over here, I do expect a pullback. Because I'm expecting a pullback on Bitcoin, not saying we'll get it, but if we do get it, those are the levels that you're going to want to keep in mind. And for Ethereum as well, I am sort of expecting a pullback. So if Ethereum does get a pullback, again, we have to identify some bullish order blocks to enter. And in this case, the order block entry would actually be at here, 2080. But if we do not get, that level, then what we're going to want to do is move the order block entry down here at this order block right there. Now, am I saying that Ethereum is going to get that low? No, absolutely not. I'm just saying that, if Ethereum were to get to this level at 1820, it would be a pretty good entry. Now, again, not financial advice. I recently got an email. Apparently, some people were saying that I was giving some financial advice, which absolutely I am not. I am not certified, neither do I have the qualifications. So do not treat this as financial advice. I'm just saying that usually, if you were going to trade anywhere, right, if you were going to trade anywhere, I would much rather you trade at areas of value rather than in the middle of nowhere. So this is going to be the entries for Ethereum. So either at 1820, 1884, and 2080. So in this case, there is another bullish scenario that I want you to keep in mind for both Bitcoin and Ethereum, especially for Ethereum, because while rising wedges tend to break downwards 68% of the time, 32% of the time they do break upwards, and if they do, then usually it is a pretty parabolic move. So I want you to mark down this level at about, just draw this rising wedge and sort of keep in mind, right? At the moment, it's pushing up against this resistance at 2187, 2190-ish. But if it does break above this resistance, break above this rising wedge, I do see Ethereum going straight to 2400 to, attack this previous protected highs. And, if it continues to be bullish without any sort of a pullback, then these are going to be your next TP levels at 2464, 2640 and 2840. And so far, if you've learned a thing or two in this video, or you find this video helpful, it would mean so much to me if you could just drop a like button. It's a really small gesture, but it really helps me a lot. So again, Ethereum, if it does break below this rising wedge, then these are going to be your take profits, right? If you do go for a short, then these are going to be your take profits at 2080, at where was it? I mean, yeah, basically all these lines you can take profit there. So right now for both Ethereum and Bitcoin, I'm giving you the exact levels, and if you don't even, like, if you can't even take the time or bother to go mark down the levels yourself on your own chart, then there's nothing more I can do for you. But with that said though, for those of you who are, interested in taking your trading game to the next level, perhaps you're interested in doing this seriously or maybe for a career, then I want you to check out the private group, where over here you are going to get access to a world-class trading education that is going to make sure that you filter out 90% of the fluff out there that doesn't work. And again, the reason why I'm so accurate is because I know these concepts that I'm teaching, and over here I'm showing everything that I know. Everything that you would need to become a successful trader, you can find in there. And as a bonus, you're going to get access to profitable trading setups every single day, where if we just go onto the profits page, a lot of people are making absurd amounts of money, and there have been a lot of people in this private Discord group that have already paid off their membership. So right now, if you just go to the link in the description, the monthly signups are currently open, and there is about 40 more spots remaining, and once this is closed, I'm going to be closing it for a while, so make sure you don't miss out on this chance. Anyways, what I'm just saying is that, this Discord group will pay itself off pretty quickly. So I'm gonna see you in the Discord group, yeah? So that was Bitcoin and Ethereum. I know this was sort of a quicker video than usual, but I just wanted to push out an update while I could. I promise next time the videos with more explanation is going to come back, but for now, these are the levels that you're going to want to pay attention to Bitcoin. Basically, Bitcoin is bullish and you want to look for a pullback. And right before I leave you, I actually want to share a couple of very interesting statistics. And if you were in the private Discord group, you would have known about this. So basically, this chart shows the amount of whales that have been accumulating Bitcoin since, May 21st. This this blue line right here is Bitcoin supply held by entities with 1k to 10k Bitcoin. Well, basically, in layman's terms, these are whales. And ever since May 21st, they have been accumulating, right? Meanwhile, this pink line is retail. They have been accumulating as well, but we don't really care about those. But we care about what the whales are doing. They have been accumulating. And, this right here, Bitcoin entity adjusted ASOL, this is basically the average age of, every Bitcoin sold. And if you can see, ever since May, basically June until right now, you can see that the average age of the Bitcoin betting sold was, very young, which basically means most of the people that are new to crypto are the ones doing the selling. Meanwhile, miners, right, if we just take a look here, miner net position change, and there's this saying that Bitcoin miners are the best Bitcoin traders out there because they're in tune with the coin they're mining. And so miners, like what miners are doing, is usually a very good indication of what the market's about to do. And you can see that since the end of June to about the beginning of July, miners have been accumulating. So I know all these pieces of data does not mean much, but it just goes to show why, potentially this massive pump on Bitcoin, in hindsight, it would have been inevitable. So for now, follow the smart money. That's what I always like to say. So make sure you look for pullbacks. Like you don't even need to use the order blocks, right? As long as you get a pullback and you buy, right, dollar cost average down, and you're going to be set, right? And again, dollar cost average, I'm not going to explain it in this video. And again, dollar cost average, the way you use all these TP levels is, as the price gets to 36k, you buy, you sell 25% of your position, you sell 25 here, you sell 25 here, and you sell 25 here. Similar for these entries right here, right? Rather than going in, if let's say you were playing with $1,000, rather than going in all at once at 32,600, maybe you go in 500 here and you go in 500 here. It's just a very quick it's a very quick simplification of how to dollar cost average, because that's what every trader who knows what they're doing is doing. So with that said, my friend, I will see you in the Discord group. May the gains be with you, and peace.